All right, here we go. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Game number 2, Daut versus Tim on Arabia. Mongols War. Mongols War is my favorite. It's definitely one of my favorite civs to have. Usually means it's going to be a really exciting game. Nice civilization for an Arabia game because you can go with a couple of different options from a military strategy standpoint. You can build those Mangudai, you can build archers into Mangudai, something like that. You can go knights if you want to. You can transition in the late game, no matter what you go to, into Hazar. Really fun civ. I really like watching these civs go at it, and you get that faster uptime. So if players want to get nasty and go up on 19 vills and really go at each other in the feudal age, they can. Anyway, enough of me just rambling on about what could happen. Let's see what does happen. We'll see Daut here coming in the blue, 21-20 rating, scouting around behind his TC. At the moment, he's actually a little low. There's a sheep coming in, perfectly fine. I was going to say he's a little bit low on sheep. Looks like he'll go to the corner and find a few more. Nice back gold pile for Daut. Pretty closable map in some areas if he wanted to wall himself in, but none of these wood lines are terribly thick, and Tim could certainly tower them or even just camp archers on the other side. So all in all, not the greatest map for Daut. His deer patch is somewhat far from the TC, but he can definitely push those deer in pretty easily. He is a pro player after all. For the moment, Daut has found his sheep. Maybe he's looking around for one more boar, scouting around a little bit longer. Okay, Tim on the other side playing as Panda TV in the red. Tim will also be playing as Mongols. He's got a rather wallable map on one flank. Woodline on the front here is decent, but not that easy to protect. This back woodline is far superior, in my opinion, to Daut's. Just a 3 deer patch here for Tim, but he can push those deer in pretty easily, and he should be just fine. Mongols with that hunter bonus. They gather faster as hunters, so deer and boar are very important. Tim's map is going to be pretty darn open, though, on this flank. There's really not a whole lot here for him to use for structure, and also his main gold is relatively far from the TC. So I think he's going to have to play a pretty good game, maybe a little bit aggressively, but I suppose we'll wait and see for now. Tim's backstone here could allow him to build some castles and transition into Mangudai later in the game if he wants to. This is interesting. Daut is sending a couple of hunters out to this deer patch, and he might go old school here. And it looks like for now he's going to drop a mill. Players used to do this a lot. They used to drop mills on deer patches. I do this a lot because my micro isn't as good as the pros are. Pro players as of late have seemed to have gone a lot more intensely into pushing those deer in with their scout, saving themselves that little bit of food. Anyway, for the moment, Daut finishing up that mill. 3 vills on wood. Not going to see a drush here. Not really the greatest civ to drush with. Mongols are just so beastly with their uptime. You can get up to the feudal age so quickly, and you can start putting out scouts that a drush doesn't really catch your opponent that much off guard. Anyway, for the moment, Daut is milling his deer. Tim on the other side is not going to be pushing his. He's going to be scouting instead, and let's see what this looks like. Okay, Daut has found Tim's base. He's found the TC. Looks like he did not take any damage from TC arrow fire. He's circling around now. He will find this back woodline very shortly, and he'll have a pretty good idea of Tim's map. Tim on the other side seems to be about at the same point in the game. He's just found the TC. He's circling around. He'll find the berries and continue to look around the map. Tim might be tipped off here by the fact that Daut did not mill his berries. Tim milling his berries instead of the deer patch. Daut did not mill the berries, so Tim knows that there is sort of a clandestine mill somewhere. If he hasn't found it already, that might incentivize him to look around a little bit more. He probably can anticipate that Daut has milled his deer, and if he finds this mill, it would be a really great place, potentially, to raid. That being said, if Daut does go up relatively soon, you would expect him to build a barracks and put a spearman, camping out, standing guard amongst those villagers, and that would deter, if Tim does go scouts, that would deter his early scouts. Anyway, we're moving our way through the early part of the game here. Looks like these two players will be clicking up soon, I would think. Tim will be up at the moment. Daut has tons of food, much more than he needs, but he does not have loom yet. I wonder if he will go loom. Tim did loom before clicking up. Daut will not. Daut will go up on 21 villagers without loom. Interesting build at the moment for the blue player. He's going to have a little window of time where he's not loomed up yet, and he could get a villager sniped. It's unlikely, but it is possible. Anyway, keep an eye on Tim's scouting. He still doesn't know about this mill on the top side. He may not even find it in time. These deer are starting to really get chewed through. So Daut may get away with a little bit of a sneaky mill. A little bit of walling from the blue player. Going to block in the easy flanks for him. Maybe block in this back corner so that scouts can't just run roughshod through his eco. Anyway, feudal age coming. Tim will be pushing toward his TC on one side. He'll be palisading up the other and blocking himself in pretty nicely. Not totally immune to scout raiding, but one spearman camped on this wood line would probably make it difficult for Daut to do too much damage. Oh yeah, Tim finding Daut's villagers, and here we go. Daut did not loom up. Tim will trade his scout for a vill, and that's a really good trade, I think. Tim there recognizing that Daut did not have loom. You always got to click on your opponent's vills and double check. He ran in, sniped a vill, and that's not nothing. Tim will get a vill there for free. He'll get to the feudal age first. His opponent Daut still has not clicked up to loom, so at the moment, Tim might have the opportunity to kill more villagers. His stable is up, more scouts coming out. Very interesting and weird decision from Daut so far. I mean, at this point, he's not terribly threatened, but I would hope that he's going to get loom rather soon. Oh boy, we got a villager in the mix with a wolf on this side. Wolves can kill villagers before they're loomed up. Looks like they are going to be on equal ground, and that villager will get the win. That wolf was on the uphill, on the sneak tip, if you will. I think he might have grabbed that vill. Excuse me. Anyway, for the moment, scouts coming in on both sides, both players palisading up. This game is going to get hot and heavy, and the question is going to be, when is Daut going to loom? He already loomed up. He probably loomed up halfway through that fight with the wolf. I was too excited. Anyway, so we've got Mr. Daut on 24 vills. Tim is on 24 as well. A little bit surprising. Tim probably should be a little further ahead. He's like 2/3. No, he's like not even half a villager ahead of Daut. So maybe a little bit of missed micro there from Mr. Tim. Not sure why Tim killed a vill and is not a full villager ahead, but hey, it happens. Sometimes your opponent is more efficient than you. Daut will have 5 scouts out. He's going to do a really nice job to camp out on that hill while he walls his entire side in. This is a really long makeshift wall here, and he's got to protect his villagers building it while it's being built. Notably, that entire bit of walling is really not going to give him a ton of great wood lines. This wood line will be good for some time, but not for that long. This wood line on the front is really not going to last much longer if Tim goes into any sort of archers. But for now, that is not the case. Both players going with scouts, so those wood lines are fine. A couple spears out on the map, probably for both players. Tim is interestingly going to be walking all the way out to kill these deer and harvest that meat. Very surprised by that. Pro players almost always pushing deer these days. He's going to actually lose a lot of time with these villagers walking. And look at this. Daut is somehow going to time this perfectly to run in and harass these vills. Spearman in the mix. Daut doesn't want this fight. Also, plenty of scouts from Tim. But man, how did Daut time that so perfectly? Those villagers 10 seconds earlier would not have been in that vicinity. Daut, for the moment, is, I don't know, maybe running back and trying to avoid losing too many scouts. He does have the numbers advantage on Tim, but Tim's spear there is really, really a big deal. Looks like Daut will grab one of Tim's scouts and run back home. Blacksmith coming for Mr. Daut as we speak. Resources are looking pretty good for him. 500 food, almost 200 gold. Tim does not quite have the gold that Daut has, but he probably has more food once these villagers drop off their hunt, I suppose. Interestingly, Tim's going to have to take gold here on the front. Really sketchy area of the map. But for now, his opponent's scouts won't do too much with a couple spears in the mix. Daut with a forward spear, we see this a lot. When you know your opponent's going with scouts, you can bring a spear forward and put a little bit of a little bit of pressure on your opponent's scouts as they run around the map. Daut fully walled in. He cannot chop through this tree unless he wants to drop another piece of wall. That tree right there on 47 health, I guess you could call it, 47 wood, is going to be an opening in that wall if he doesn't stop soon. Anyway, Daut will click up to the castle age. Tim is a little bit behind here. Is he going to build a market? No, he's got 6 villagers over on gold now. Blacksmith coming for Tim. Daut just seems to have the jump on Tim today. He will get to castle first. He's going to be a couple vills behind, but those are castle age upgrade vills. I think the villager count is actually a dead heat. Daut has stopped chopping that tree, for those of you guys keeping score at home. But yeah, Daut here is going to hit castle quite a bit sooner than Tim. He'll have a really safe gold eco. His food economy isn't massive, but if he does want to go into one stable knights, he can certainly afford it. No archery range right now, so it does not look like he's going to try to transition into any sort of archers. Tim clicks up to the castle age. He is going to do some really, really aggressive walling. Holy sweet Jesus. He's going to somehow try to close in this entire side, I guess. For now, Palisade's keeping his villagers safe and sound back at home. Tim has a stable blacksmith. He's got a stable and a barracks here, and that is it for him as well. So it does look like both players will go down the knight route. Probably, I suppose. There are other options, but we'll see. So, for the moment, we see Daut getting up to the castle age. What is he going to do right away? He's going to build a knight. He's going to build a TC. And he's going to play this one as a 3 TC build. Impressive amount of resource in the bank right now for Daut. He can keep 3 TCs going and probably one stable going with knights for a while. That's really, really nice management of his economy. Floating a little bit of wood, but you know what? I think he's going to need it to seed more farms as he continues to work his way through here. Daut roaming forward with that first knight. He's going to find that Tim is palisaded in on this gold. Well, he's not going to find that yet, but he will figure it out. Just looking around for somewhere to poke and prod at Mr. Tim. Tim at the moment fully walled in, adding in a second stable. So let that be a little bit of a spoiler alert for you guys. We're going to see double stable knights potentially from Tim. I suppose you could throw in a camel if you wanted to as well. Yeah, it's going to be a couple camels. It's going to be one camel coming. The second stable just now completing. And it looks like Tim will go with, yeah, double stable camels now. That will allow him to catch up to Daut. The problem is, if Tim's spending his time chasing Daut around, it's going to give the blue player an opportunity to really boom up on 3 TCs. Double stable camels probably means that Tim can't have 3 TCs. He will have 2 for now, so his economy won't be too far behind, but not 3 for the moment. So 2 TCs, 2 stables versus 3 TCs and 1 stable. We'll see how this game goes. Daut so far has kept the initiative on Tim's side of the map. He's kept Tim on the defensive. Oh, this is another TC for Tim. Tim will go 3 TCs and 2 stables. Interesting. Okay. I didn't think he would have the resource to keep up with that, but for the moment, Tim is going to idle these stables just a little bit and allow himself to boom up some vills. So, double stable camels. Camels out on the field for Tim. They will defend very nicely versus a mostly knight army from Mr. Daut. Daut here is still just scouting around, doing a really good job to get an idea of everything that's on the map. You gotta love pro player scouting. They do such a good job at finding all the resources and all the important points. Yeah, Mongols War, it's not uncommon at all if both players are going into knights and or camels to see a whole bunch of monks out on the field trying to change the tide. Players will usually eventually transition over to stone. We'll see. Tim right now with just 4 vills on stone. Late game Mangudai can really, really be a powerful unit. Both players with 4 vills on stone here in the Castle Age. Those of you guys keeping score at home, maybe you want to go 4 onto stone in Castle Age in a game like this as Mongols. Daut expanding over to this woodline on the side. He's really getting close to chopping through. Yeah, he's chopped through a couple places here. If his opponent Tim wanted to run in, especially if Tim had a few knights, he could probably get into the back of this eco. But for now, it's going to be a fight in the middle of the map. Conversion coming in there for Tim. Looks like he will push Daut back for now. Daut adds a spearman in, but that spear is just not as scary of a unit versus castle-aged units. Looks like Daut will again make the Wololo noise and chase Tim back across the map. It's a little bit redundant here. These guys chasing each other back and forth with monks at the moment. Tim is gonna get really interesting here. He's gonna drop a TC in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's stone here, which I think he wants to take to build castles, but that's it. It's a really interesting TC location. Really strange. Clandestine TC, I suppose. Wow, he's out there in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, at least for now, he can probably hide in the fog of war, and Daut probably won't find him for quite a while. Anyway, let's see how we're doing here. Moving through this game at a little bit of an elevated pace. We're going to see Tim on 4 TCs now. Mongols player with 64 vills. 12 villagers behind Daut because of his later castle time. But for now, Tim will be catching up with 4 TCs. Big fight in the middle. Looks like a couple of monks in play from Daut. I did not hear a conversion. Yeah, there's a conversion there at the end. But both of Daut's monks being sniped down. Tim here with plenty of camels to win the day. And he's going to push Daut back a little bit. Daut investing a lot more in villagers and a lot more in basically protecting his side of the map. Tim with a bigger army might be able to get something done at this point in the game. Yeah, Daut will be on 4 TCs as well. So Tim is not the only player going 4 TC. Looks like 4 TCs for the blue player as well. Castle coming up on the front here, right where Daut chopped through his wood line. Would have been great if he could have got it up onto this hill, but it's just not possible now that Tim is here with all of his camels. Well, so much for Tim hiding in the fog of war. Daut is going to work his way over there with... Ooh, oh boy. Daut is like 1 panel away. Yeah, he's going to walk over and see Tim's TC here. Tim's going to be safe enough against a couple of camels, but in the long run, Daut can really harass and push this TC. If he gets any sort of advantage in this game, this would be a great place to carve some units off and go harass. There's just nothing here for these villagers to do to protect themselves. That being said, Tim is moving forward, and those villagers look like they are going to drop a castle somewhere here. Forward castle for Tim on top of the hill. Nice hill location for that castle, should support his push well. Looks like Tim will be able to harass over this wood line that we were talking about being ever so thin. Tim's got to be careful though, his treb here is almost within range of Daut's castle. So for the moment we work our way to the Imperial Age, at least Daut does. Tim at the moment is not quite there resource-wise, but he has taken over some really nice map control. Military numbers pretty massively in the favor of Tim, but we are early on in the game, 17 units versus 8. Tim is in a good spot here. He's got an interesting decision to make. He's going to push with some mangonels. He's going to use his camels in case Daut tries to run in and snipe those mangoes. But Daut here has decided to go into mangodite production. Not uncommon at all at this point in the game. Daut will have bloodlines. I'm really surprised he didn't have bloodlines this whole time. But Daut will grab bloodlines, he'll grab ballistics and padded archer armor, and he's going to start building another castle on top of the hill. Slow this down, pretty important engagement. Tim running in with camels. Daut at the moment does not seem to have the critical mass of mangodite that he needs, but he's got to stand his ground because he needs to try to save these villagers. It looks like Tim will go back for now. He'll be happy with potentially killing a TC, although he has lost quite a few camels in that exchange. Daut's going to add in a 5th TC on the bottom of the map, so it's going to be 4 TCs versus 5 TCs. Tim at the moment just with a bunch of villagers hanging out in the middle of nowhere. Again, not the greatest map for him. Defensive castle coming down for Tim. Mangodite production should go into full swing here very shortly. Tim's going to use his camels to try to stop villagers from repairing this TC for the moment. Camels, though, coming in for Daut. They will clean up one of the monks. Interestingly, the other monk will survive. He'll be standing to... Boy, this camel is fighting a wolf. That was really unfortunate for Tim. Tim could have maybe killed this camel and gotten back home safely, but unfortunately, he's going to lose probably both of these mangonels. A little bit unfortunate for the red player, but mostly just a really nice play from Daut. Really good timing. Daut will use a castle to protect 2 different resource piles and a key area of the map. Tim's not going to be able to run into the back of Daut's eco, not through this route. Really nice castle location from the blue player. Tim, on the other side, continuing to drop more and more castles. Castle count is going to be, well, it's going to be 3-2 for the moment in favor of Tim, but I'm sure we have more castles to come. So Tim will get to the Imperial Age a lot later than his opponent Daut. But he does have a nice eco, 108 vills, a little bit behind Daut as well. Military from Daut is bigger. Castle locations are starting to look really good for both players. We'll see Elite Mangudai coming in right away from Tim. But Daut will importantly have a Treb out already, putting pressure on Tim's castle. This feels like deja vu a little bit. Tim's a little bit behind to the Imperial Age, and his castle's under fire, and now he's got to go try to keep it alive while he builds some more Trebs. The problem is he's clicked Elite Mangudai on that forward castle, therefore he can't build his own Trebs just yet. So he will run in with Mangudai and try to snipe his opponent's Treb. Lots of villagers here for Daut. Probably can keep this Treb alive. Castle will claim 1, 2 of those Mangudai and maybe a third. No, it looks like 2 Mangudai dead from Tim. Good idea from Tim to run in and try to kill those Trebs, but he just didn't have the initiative. Unfortunately, Daut with so many villagers standing by to repair his Treb. Okay, Tim is in a lot of trouble here. Holy sweet Jesus. All of these piles of resources are totally unprotected right now. Daut is going to turn around and take this fight on the hill. Does not look like he has ballistics yet. Does he? Maybe those are just thumb ring misses, but we'll keep an eye on that. At the moment, Daut's going to grab several villagers on this pile. Tim's going to have to fight his way uphill. Daut at the moment has the 1 damage advantage on his opponent. However, Tim's Mangudai are elite. It's 11 versus 10. I'm sorry, Tim with the 1 damage advantage. That elite Mangudai upgrade coming in early is going to help him fight uphill here. But Daut's numbers are maybe enough. We'll see. At the moment, we're down to 1 Mangudai left for Tim. Daut will win that fight. 3 Mangudai. Tim's going to lose this gold pile. If Daut is thorough enough with his scouting on this side, he's going to know that Tim is also here and here. Tim's got a lot of villagers sitting out there, kind of in a very dangerous location. However, for now, Tim will send back some Mangudai and clean it up, so it's all good. Holy cow, Daut on the front with 5 Trebs, putting pressure on Tim's castle. You'll remember there was a castle here from Tim a minute ago. That castle did not survive. Neither does Tim's Treb or his second castle. This game is starting to look really bad for Tim. Daut transitioning into more stables, Parthian tactics on the way, leather archer armor on the way. But Daut's going to be ready as well to start adding in some Hussar, I would think, at this point in the game. Daut at this point in the game is probably using a lot of gold to build these Mangudai, and he probably wants to have a trash unit ready. Looks like it's going to be scouts for now, light cavalry on the way. Hussar coming soon. Of course, Mangudai have beefier, badass Hussar and light cav. So those are really great units to transition into later in the game. I believe it's a 30% HP boost. Anyway, Trebs for the moment, taking down another TC here. Tim is hemorrhaging more vills. He's 105 villagers at the moment. But maybe more importantly, he's behind in the military count by 26. Daut has an army 4 times the size of Tim's at the moment. So it's looking like we're going to see this game come to an end relatively soon. Tim's going to try to transition into light cav. Husbandry coming as well. Stone shaft mining coming. Tim's just trying to find a way to hold on, but his next castle is securely in Daut's crosshairs. Tim will hang out on the hill with plenty of Mangudai. I'm sorry, Daut will hang out on the hill with plenty of Mangudai to deter Tim from trying to run in and snipe these Trebs. 5 Trebs really make very quick work of a castle. Daut here can knock this castle down. He can probably take all these buildings if he wants to as well. In, 30 seconds? A minute of game time, I suppose. Light Cav starting to run in from Daut. He is hitting those clandestine stone and gold piles from Tim. Tim's doing a good job to clean that up, but he's really losing the major fight on the front. Daut's packing the Trebs. He's going to roll in a little bit closer, maybe come take down another castle from Tim. Tim at this point is just not going to have enough castles to keep up his Mangudai production. He's got a ton of gold, and quite a bit of wood, but no food in the bank at the moment, and no castles to build Mangudai out of. One castle left for Tim. He's building a second as we speak, but he's losing them as fast as he's building them, unfortunately. Daut on top of the hill. This has turned into a tale of two cities at this point. Tim will GG out of this game, as he should, because that castle is absolutely in peril. Once that castle's down, these Mangudai can really run in. Tim was trying to get some light cav, some Hussar going for the late game, but just too little too late. Another game where we see Daut get to the Imperial Age relatively early and just start to beat up on Tim with some trebs from a distance and with superiorly upgraded units. Is that a phrase? Probably not. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Killer B. Game number 2 here is going to go to Daut. Nice Mongols War on Arabia. Hopefully you enjoyed it. There is a third game at this point in the cast. You should see a link to that game if you want to click on it and check it out. You should also see a link to my channel, a big flaming whatever, if you want to click on that and become flaming like me. That'd be cool. Welcome. Yeah. But anyway, that's all for me. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you all later. Much love.